Okay, I'll give you a quick little hi, how are you? My name is Michael Coleman. I'm a voice actor and on-camera actor. One of the genres that I do a lot of work in is the culture of anime. I have voiced many shows. My first two series that I worked on were shows called Rotterdam and Cardcaptors. I've also been a part of various other productions, ranging from cute cuddly like Hello Kitty and Hamtaro to Destiny, Yasha, Dragon Ball Z. Worked on a lot of other projects like Kararogo, a few others that are recently recorded. There's a bunch. I think it's about 3 dozen shows now, so it's a lot to go through the rest. But yeah, so I have been fortunate enough to be invited to come to Idaho a few times in my life, and I always have a lovely time. It's a really good group of people with lots of great questions and ideas and appreciation for a lot of different projects I've worked on. But yeah, so this panel here is to maybe just to chat a little about some of the world of anime and those sorts of things, getting into it, and what it's like to work in the voice acting world of anime. Does anybody have any questions before we? I'm going to chat here tonight. Yeah. Since March, I've worked on a few different shows. I'm working on a new show called The Same Koku Story, where I play Santa. So that's a fun new anime series. It's, I think it's kind of like, it's got a bit of a Kararogo kind of feel. It's kind of fun, dramatic, lots of sexy overacting, lots of different sexy people. That's what I think. Yeah.
What was your favorite anime voice actor?
My favorite anime? My favorite project voice actor, that's a good question. I don't know, I've liked a lot of it for different reasons. I like working on Hello Kitty because it's Hello Kitty and it's everywhere. It's kind of just weird to be a part of that whole franchise. I did a film called A Tree of Palm. I don't know if anybody has seen this. It was an 82 release. So that was actually a really good film. It had like a lot of the same people that were involved with like Spirit Away and stuff like that. So it was like kind of, it was a pretty cool project to be a part of. It was pretty cool to do Gundam. I was originally cast as Gundam America in G Gundam, and then I moved to Series because it was nice and fun to get a chance to be involved with the Gundam and have a Super Gundam robot. It's kind of fun. Anybody else have anything? Yeah. That's a really good question. I think the most fun part is the bad guys, I think. So I think the bad guys are a lot of fun. Or especially the misunderstood bad guys. I did a series called Dragon Drive, and Dragon Drive, I played a character whose mother passed away prematurely, and he was very angry about it with everybody. So he was a lot of fun, because there was a lot of tantrums and a lot of fits and a lot of ranting, and that's always the most fun, I think. It's getting a chance to just spaz out in the studio for a while. I also like fighting over the course of 5 episodes, like the Dragon Ball Z thing. That's kind of fun. Like, are you kidding me? We've been doing this since Monday. It's Thursday. Are we still fighting? That's kind of fun. Sometimes those kind of shows is just like, what? You really had nothing on. You couldn't think of anything clearly. So, yeah. No. For a couple reasons. Number one, I rarely know what I'm going to be in until a few days before I'm in it. And secondly, as an actor, you generally don't want to borrow somebody else's ideas. It would be like, I don't know, like it would be like the old James Bond when Roger Moore watched a bunch of Sean Connery before he tried doing James Bond stuff. It would have looked weird. So, but we also have Japanese tracks there, so quite often we'll reference them when needed because there'll be subtle things that we'll want to make sure we match, but only an intention and not copycat performance. Like we don't want to end up in copycat, which is tough because a lot of people want that. Like a lot of people hear it in the original Japanese, and a lot of the fans will want it to be just like the original Japanese, but with English words. But the reality is it just lets them play naturally. It's not like we're gonna try to make it look like a North American idea using English and those sorts of things. really generally or wanted to have a North American feel. Otherwise, it looks and feels awkward. Yeah. I still haven't decided that. Yeah, you know what? It's interesting. In Los Angeles and in Vancouver, most of us are actors first and foremost. So most of us will have credits and whatnot on film and television and theater. And voice acting is just one of the genres we do. So I would do. It's also a rare breed to actually get the opportunity to voice act. So I did that. There's a lot more people that want to do it than actually get to do it. Probably after the very first thing I did on Rama, I wanted to do it. Like, it was so much fun, and it's a ridiculous way to make a job a living. It's absolutely insane, like what we get to do and how much fun we have. And it takes hardly any time. Like I'll generally record 4 episodes over the course of 2 hours, and go in, for 2 hours, every couple of weeks to do a series. And it's, working what equates to being about a half-hour work week when you figure it all out. Not bad. In Rama, I played a character, it was the very first project I did, so it was season 7. I've never seen the work. His name's Coleman, and it's in the 7th season. So I should probably get a copy of that since it's like my first stop, and I apparently should get it really do another time. Yeah.
What's one character you always want to voice act?
What's one character I've always wanted to voice act? Like out of the existing shows that are already out there, or anything. It's a great question. I think I'd love to do anything. I'm a bit of a Star Wars fan, so I think anything from that genre would be fun. Like any of the, I would love to, of course, do Luke Skywalker or any of Princess Leia's kids or anything like that. Those are the kind of fun things to voice, I think. Those would be fun for me. Or maybe the Princess Bride is an anime. I think that'd be like to play everybody in that. Yeah, that's like my favorite movie of all time. So I think if I could do like The Princess Bride and have like 8 characters in that would be, I could just go to sleep forever. That would be fun. I'd be done. There would be no way to make that better. Yeah, and I do have footage of me being shot by a super late now. I found that last night, so if anybody wants to see me killed, I have it on tape. Yeah. How did I get into voice acting to begin with? When I was roommating with a fellow named Kirby Morrow, he's a good friend of mine, and Kirby, for my birthday, bought me studio time to record a voice demo. So, and then we ended up doing a project together called Flippo and the Sea Nymphs, where Kirby and I played all 16 characters between the two of us. We played everybody in the show, and then that kind of caught on, and then went out, and that's when we started doing a lot more of the anime, because he was a lot of the anime as well, so he's been doing that for quite a while. So that's actually how I got started. It was a birthday present. So weird things can happen on a birthday. Yeah, so it was kind of fun. Anybody else have any questions about the anime or something? What was I going to do for a living before I did this? I did not have any plans, so this was really lucky because I'm probably homeless right now. Probably pretty angry. So, it was pretty lucky. It's, but also, it's one of these businesses too where it's not only luck, but it's also, it's a lot of perseverance to get that luck as well. So I've been really, I push hard to get what I get. Yeah. Sometimes I do a lot of travel, so that's sort of can be a little bit of a toll. So it's kind of fun. Though it's nice to. It's not like you really get the instant sort of connection with people and the work you're involved with. So it's kind of nice to be able to meet some people who kind of do shows you work on, whether they're live action or anything. I don't have any children, but I do have DVDs of my work in case I'm ever lucky enough to have them. My niece and my nephew are very big fans of mine. They prefer to put me on, but for myself, of course. Yeah. for our intro. We get sick very rarely as voice actors. It's just a luxury we don't have. So we have a lot of like old witch remedies that we take on a regular basis to try to keep what you're saying. So if you feel like a little bit of a scratch coming up, you crack out like the ginger or the various different things, and you make this absolutely horrid tea. But if you drink that for 3 or 4 days straight, then you'll knock out anything in your system, guaranteed. And I'm not really into the herbal remedies or whatever, but this one particular thing, it'll set you right pretty quick. Anybody else? Oh, no, that's just a hair brush. Anybody else? No, that's okay? Yes. Some of the range choices. I do a lot of accents. So, particularly in America, a lot of times when you like in Evolution, I play a character who's from South America, so I'll have a little bit of an accent on that one there. I generally do a lot of other things where it's really one character specific things. I also play like a lot of young furry creatures like cats and rabbits and hamsters and dogs and little tiny things. Like, little tiny horses and that kind of crap. So I do a lot of those sorts of guys. And, I do a lot of like that. I'm this guy, and so I do a lot of like the little tiny raspy fur balls and stuff like that. But then I also play a lot of weird beasts, which apparently they just asked me to use my own voice. Apparently this is what it sounds like. If you didn't know what a nerd sounds like, when you're listening to it, because I do that a lot. Sounding somebody a girl would not like to kiss. Yeah, it's perfect, just keep talking. Awesome, thank you for that. That was nice, I appreciate that. That's really kind of you. So yeah, so I do that a lot. I really get the girl. I often get stuck hanging out with a little fur ball. Of course, the little fur ball as well. So that's my life. And I work as you can see. Yes. Yep, I've kicked my own butt many times. Yeah. Often, especially with anime, because often a lot of people get their butts kicked are a lot of like nameless, faceless guys that you don't really get to know for the series. So yeah, it's always weird to like yell at yourself or whatever because you're recording at different times. So like somebody will like, hey, read the mirror. And you're like, oh, I can't answer me. That's just gonna do it like I'm crazy. But yeah, so that's kind of weird. That's kind of something. I always prefer to die on television. It's always more fun to die, without question. It's more lucrative to live, but I'd way rather die, especially in a kind of super geniuses when they could bring you back to life. Because then you could die many times. So death scenes on film are always a lot of fun. I've died many times on camera, and it's always a good laugh. You know, soap opera? No, I haven't. I got lots of friends who did different soaps and such, but I have not yet gone that avenue. Revolutionary soap acting's for me, to be honest with you, in the sense that it's a lot of work for a sort of rushed process. Like, because they have so much material they have to pump out, they certain concessions are made with the caliber of the art. So. That's trying to be diplomatic. But, like, I love it when I see friends who get so work. It's just, it's not my thing. I really do prefer doing horror and sci-fi. And cheesy drama. I like cheesy drama. That's really good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great question. We actually, whenever we create a voice, we'll always record various samples of it, and then we'll always have those in the studio. Because there'll be a lot of times when you just can't remember what the hell that dude sounded like. And it's like, I got no idea. I don't even know. And there are times when you do a voice, and it's really important to remember your triggers, how to get that voice back again. Because there are actors who've done voices and they just can't do it again. It's like, well, we can't. You have to do it again because it's like you're in another episode. This guy can't just like change his sound. Yeah, a lot of them do. most voice actors that you'll talk to, most of us find our voices out of various laughs that we'll do. Like, because a lot of times you'll have like an inappropriate snort or a giggle or a fart or pitch will change, but a lot of times you'll find great voices that way. I find most of my voices as being the world's worst impersonator. So when they like want Han Solo, I do my best Han Solo, and it's so far from Han Solo that it doesn't sound close, but it's the right idea. So I do that a lot of times. So more often than not, like it breaks my heart. So, oh wow, that's such an original voice. Where'd you come up with that? I'm like, actually, it's Harrison Ford. Like, it sounds like a dead ringer to me. Whatever. I'll take the word. But yeah, so a lot of it's like that. A lot of those actors tell you just be really bad at impressions. Don't learn how to do other people's voices. Learn how to not do people's voices, because you have this whole library of great voices you can use on your own. Yeah. Absolutely, and there are in Los Angeles and Vancouver there's voice training. It's really the only places right now, because there's a lot of us who've now been doing it for a long time. We're sort of teaching the next crop of actors, sort of the chops. And I actually came down here and did one of my workshops in March in Boise. They actually went to the studio and brought in it was 14 actors. They came in. It was amazing. To be honest with you, it was brilliant. And the neat thing is it was just some small technical stuff that we went over. But they're just like, there was a lot of talent here, and these guys can come up to where I live and still work for me. So I hope they never get to bring No. Yeah. Sorry? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, you know what? That's great. You know what? That's a great question. If I were to do a sushi show, to be honest with you, the neat thing is there's a million and one different ways you can go with that. And I would actually probably play against stereotyping. And I'd probably just play really straight, in the sense that I'm playing like really low key. I just really throw anything over the lists, throw anything familiar like this, or anything. If you do anything too over the top, sometimes that doesn't work as effectively as sort of that unassuming sort of thing, that misdirect, especially if it's for comedic purposes. So I would probably play not too unlike myself, to be honest with you. Only for the sense of the physical actions would contradict what my voice is doing, and often that'll play rather well. Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions about, yeah? I did a Gundam video game. I can't remember the other ones. The other ones were more like PC-based games, so there wasn't. We work with Electronic Arts back home, so we do a lot of the SSX and stuff like that. We do a lot of the role-playing games. I'm right back in Vancouver, so. But yeah, no, the only anime voice video game I've ever done is Gundam. That was fun. That was cool. Yeah, I can't remember the names of the other ones, because most of them were smaller titles that I worked on, so I can't remember what the heck. Yeah, it was a shame. I wish I remember. Nobody ever asked me about the video games before. But yeah, it is something we do a lot of voicing for video games. That's a big thing. We do that now. It's something nobody's ever really talked to us about. That's great. That's a good question. It's a great question. I'll be better prepared next time. Does anybody else have any other questions about, yeah? On television? On television I do a lot of Lifetime network movies. We do a lot of those back home. I've also worked on a series called Blood Ties and Eureka and Stargate SG-1. I've worked in a couple of films here from Everybody 5 to, yeah, Yeah, and then I worked. I've done a lot of different films, like a lot of independent releases. I did like a blockbuster special, like TV, like about vampires, things of that nature. So I've done a few of those. I got a big zombie movie I'm doing in March. It's just called Zombie. That'll be a lot of fun. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm pretty straightforward, just killing the undead. But they're all mercenaries and trained. There is military combat, so they're dangerous. But yeah, so that's something off on campus and done as well. So now this is like, what are some of the animes you guys like and why? Talk to me and tell me some of your stuff. Yeah. Okay. What are the things you guys like in anime? This is also a great opportunity for me to kind of figure out what you guys dig. Like, why do you like anime and what kind of stuff and why? Now, do you guys, does anybody here watch subs or dubs only? That's okay. What do you watch and why? How about yourself here? What do you watch? Yeah, what do you prefer? Yeah? And is there any particular reason or? What's that? No, yeah, but people out there working for that yourself. No, that's a fair statement. It's great. I love it. It's great. That's all right. A lot of people do. That's what they know. Yeah. It's interesting because we get a chance to, like, when we come to these conventions, we often get a chance to meet some of our Japanese counterparts, and it's kind of fun because they'll do sometimes the reverse and such, and it's interesting because an actor's just an actor regardless of where they're geographically from or those sorts of things. So it's always it's one of our favorite questions right now because as an English-speaking voice actor, there's a lot of incredibly talented people I work with. There's a lot of people that just are but if you ask the Japanese, they just say the exact same thing. But a lot of times people will categorize the subs or the dub, like they'll just flat out put you into a category based on the languages. Yeah, sometimes. It depends too on what the translator is. A lot of times that's just outside of the voice actor's hands, and a lot of times that'll just be. No, it's interesting actually. I actually have a lot of Japanese actors that don't wait for the English, but I'll have the other way as well. Yeah. Yes. That's one of the things I do not like about Americanized stuff. It's like there's a project we did Dragon Ball Z, for example. Dragon Ball Z was done in Texas.
I'm gonna get mine.
It was done in Texas for America, and it was done in Canada for the rest of the world. But Americans, the overwhelming consensus was Americans wanted them to sound really American. With the rest of the world wanted them. We sound kind of like nobody as Canadians. Like we just sort of have this like, it's not really, I mean, once you go East Coast, you get the even move, but that's really more like a Minnesota thing anyways. But like as Western Canadians, we have this sort of really bland, generic sound. So we did that for like the European market and everybody else. But a lot of times, and I know a lot of times they'll cut stuff out that will be specific cultural references because they just don't think American audiences want it. And it's really unfortunate. Well, I also understand you guys aren't really a casual fan base. It's not like, well, let's see if Friends is on or maybe like you guys really. No, that's like you guys get into like when you guys watch this stuff, you actually get into the Japanese culture to the point of holding conventions where you actually embrace another, society, a way of thinking. But unfortunately, broadcasters and distributors, most of your stuff is toy driven, and toys sell better with American references. So that's the perception. But at the same time, I think they would probably sell just as well without. Yes. Right. Yeah. Well, one of the reasons too, not only based on the popularity of anime, because it really is some interesting art, like the various subgenres within the larger genre of anime. There's a lot of really brilliant work, but one of the reasons we're really lucky to have it is it's really inexpensive to produce, and that's why we have so much of it here, because it's really, really cheap to make. So that's why we have so much anime. We're just really fortunate. There's actually some really brilliant minds in Japan and other various places that are creating these marvelous works of art. That's where we're really learning to get to cheaper here and just change the voices, or even just import it in the original with subs or whatever. But that's one of the reasons the extra editions of adding little flavors. That's an extra $5 I want to spend as a producer. Oh, me too. And was this fun? Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I would love to hear it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've had many super serious roles as well. I enjoyed them for a lot of time when you get out of the wacka crazy stuff. Do you have a question over here? Yes. The Naruto dub is terrible. Excuse me, because we were supposed to do that show and then we sent it somewhere else. I'm glad to hear things. That's awesome. You were rocked it. That's awesome. Probably all of them. I'll always pick all of them. We'll always be for everybody. All of them. All of them. There's no other answer. You always want to play everybody. Everybody said that thinks they can do every voice in the world. It's one of the few show things in life. All of them. Yeah. You guys have any other questions? No! I hope that works out all right. A lot of it's cheesy and really over the top. I'd say one of my favorite now, probably shouldn't go out, it'll bite me in the butt next time I see Dick and Young, but I think Princess 9 is a pretty cheesy anime. It's about a girl softball team, but it's one of my favorites. I love it. So Princess Nine's one of my favorites. It's like Chris Patton, Monica Rial, like, it's all good friends of mine. So maybe but I like it because it's cheesy and they sound cheesy and I know them. I agree, but not on the airlines apparently. Everyone cheeses now. You have to let me know for cheese. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a leader now. More cheese. Yeah. Those nice stuff and cheese. It's so good. I like you can find something cheesy, you can find anything. Well, they're great because they're like chunks of lard or like I'm sure there's other things. I don't know. I just can't believe I can't make cheese on mine. Yeah. I'm just mad about cheese. I really like cheddar. Like I like a nice mild cheddar. So that's disappointing. I enjoy the cheddar. So I guess no good like cheddar. That's okay. I'll survive. Does anybody else have any other questions about anything? Yeah. Yeah, Muppets would be a lot of fun actually. We get a chance to do a lot of stuff we do back home. Like we have a lot of voice actors who do a lot of voice matching. As much as I said I'm a horrible impersonator, there are also a few voices that I can do okay if I have more time to learn them. So we have done. I can't remember if we've actually done them Muppets. No, we do we do a lot of like the Porky Pigs and Bugs Bunnies and stuff back home. So a lot of those guys. There's still in LA Bob Morgan who does the big Porky Pigs, but the rest of it's pretty much done out of Vancouver. So what's that? I'd love to be Fred Rock. That'd be awesome. That'd be killer. Yeah, there's kind of things. Yeah, I'd love to see that sort of come back. And I don't know, like it'd be so CG oriented. Everybody wants computer generated this and that. But at the same time, I don't know, like things with like the Nintendo Wii saying, well, let's not do graphics, let's just do fun again. So I'm hoping that maybe we'll do that as the entertainment as well. Maybe we'll go back to just have some songs and some like, oh, but I don't know what happens. What's that? Yeah, I would be surprised to see it come back because again, it's still pretty cheap to put, a couple of googly eyes on a song, walk around like this. Still pretty cheap to do that, so I'm hoping that comes back. That's a lot of fun. That's a tough one, yeah, like where you have a project that you like and you're the only writer or whatever, and then it kind of jumps on board or something. Yeah, it can be tough. Like, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head where I've had that, but yeah, sometimes it's difficult to be the only one who enjoys a project or something like that for so long, especially if you get ridiculed for it, or teased, or everybody thinks you're crazy, like, this is crap, and then out of nowhere, everybody falls in love with it, like they've always been in love with it. So, it's really easy to get territorial with a lot of projects like that. I was a little bit like that with certain elements of like the original Star Wars, original trilogy, but at the same time, I think it's nice. I think it's a much better forgive and forget, let everybody jump on board with the project. If everybody wants to love it late, right? I'll probably like something late that you've enjoyed forever. So I think it's not a bad idea to sort of just be open to that sort of idea. So I have in the past been a little elitist with things that I've loved this forever. What do you mean you love it now? We hated it before, but I think it's always nice for people to eventually all be on the same page. But that's sort of my yeah. Yeah. And now it's not cosplay. So it's like, yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's nice when we all get on board. I think it's kind of fun. That's my hippie mentality. Yeah. My favorite voice to do. I like doing Sunspot on X-Men Evolution because I don't think I do a very good Brazilian accent. So every day I got paid for it. I felt like I was robbing Ryan Hart. So that was always fun. And it's kind of cool to be an X-Men. Like it's kind of cool to be a superhero and your whole body on fire and stuff like that. You think of her. It's pretty good. Yeah. Like voice work? Yes. I have various shows, mostly like background like music, just here and there. So, but yeah. And then a few stage performances. I'd be quite charming. I'm not an attractive lady, just very much not attractive lady. Does anybody else have any other questions then? Oh, way there, yeah.
Yeah, I apologize if this has already been asked because I came late.
Oh, that's okay.
But have you ever phoned in a role? Do they still do that?
Phone in a roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have actually. We needed something for England, a series called Action Man. And,
Action Man.
I'm not sure what you would do down here, but I know, like, all I know is I was in Canada, we were recording it for England, and I think it was supposed to play in America. But, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So I played some Australian fella in that show. Yeah. Yeah, so that was kind of fun. It was kind of cool. So that was, so once in a while I'm still phoning in. And sometimes I'll phone in, like, I'll do a lot of radio ads. I do a lot of radio ads for something in Boise. I don't remember, I gotta find that out. Yeah, I should know that. I'm coming here long enough that I should know. It's kind of like, do you guys have like something called the boardroom? Would that be in Boise? Is there a boardroom? Yeah. I was doing a lot of ads for the boardroom for the longest time. That was kind of cool. Yeah, it was still Boise. I don't know that connection. That's awesome. Yeah, like a total skater game thing. Yeah. I do skating a lot, so often a surfer or a skater dude. Yeah. Depends on where you do it. Depends on where you do it. In Vancouver and in Los Angeles and in New York, it pays very well. Most of us make decent livings doing this. There's a lot of voice actors who make a really healthy living. There's not as much money doing anime. Anime is the absolute least amount of money you'll get paid for. It's the worst money. It's a lot of fun, but the money is a fifth of what we get in regular voice work. Yeah. Not for voice, only for on-camera stuff. So for voice acting, I haven't done any TV movies or anything like that. I've done a lot of local shows back home though. Shows like that. So like people who know for Regis and Kelly. So I've done those sorts of things back at home. So, bless you. I actually do a lot of radio. I'm a big sports junkie, I like my sports, so I work with the guys who do the sports radio quite a bit. I voice a lot of their stuff, because then I just like to hang around with athletes and radio sports DJs and stuff. It's a fun crowd. Does anybody else have any other questions? Yeah.
So how do you go about finding jobs?
If
you have an agent.
What's that?
Or do you have an agent that does that for you?
For me, I have an agent. I have a couple of agents. I have a whole bunch of different people who find me jobs, and I just go where I'm supposed to be. But for people down here, you don't really have an industry yet, so it would be very easy to just start one. If you wanted a job, just go to a place and tell them you're ready to go. It's that simple. So I've got, like I said, I did a workshop with about 14 actors last March, gave me some advice, record a bunch of voices on a disc, drop it off at all the radio stations and TV stations, and say, if you need these kind of voices, I'm willing to come out and do them. And that's as hard as it is. And you'll probably get called, and you'll probably start working, and you'll invent an industry, and then they unionize, and then they'll label you. No, that's like big steps.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Somebody else have any other questions for life, love, anime, anything? Romance, accessibility? No, nothing? I'm not very good at that anyways. Yeah.
On that note, Michael, we talked Friday about the
Yes.
anime piece that I was working on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that was actually really, I'm not sure if you guys know that. Is this a clever segue? Okay. It's totally unscripted and unsegue. Because that's a beautiful segue for what we're about to do here.
I don't want to take this away from Michael, but I'm getting started, preliminary stages on an animated sci-fi, it's basically called A New Beginning, and I'm looking for 4 actors. I'll know people, I'll know what purpose is what I'm looking for, so if you are a voice actor, see me, I'll get you your address or email or whatever, and give you my business card if you're interested. Thanks.
That's awesome. And do you have, before you run away, do you have any rough ideas like age ranges or qualities? Like, do you give like a reference or like solo?
Okay, alright. As far as that goes, there's 4 main characters, 4 speaking parts. There's 2 minors and 8. There's a male and a female that they're probably in their early to mid 20s, maybe 30s. Let's stop anyway because I know voices don't age sometimes. And then there's a general and a lieutenant. The lieutenant's probably younger, but the general's got a very commanding voice. That's the best I can tell you. They all have to be able to handle the sci-fi terminology. So if you have trouble with sci-fi, maybe go and have on it. If you're still interested, I'll be right out to you. As far as the time frame, it's pretty wide open because as you really don't have to all be together when you're doing voiceover. Sometimes you're just the only guy in the studio. Or the only girl in the studio recording. So if I find the right voice, okay, what? And I'll look around your schedule. So.
Awesome. So does anybody show hands? Does anybody want to be in like their own movie or TV series or anything like that? Just for some fun? No? What girls don't want to do anything? Count. Just like, no worries. Okay, well, can I see those hands again? I got distracted, I believe. Great, okay, well, great. This is awesome. So this is like how it starts. Like, something comes up and says, like, I need a bunch of voices. I'm making a movie or a TV show. And then a whole bunch of you are like, oh, look crap, I totally want to be in a movie or a TV show. And then you just go do it. And that's how the industry works. Like, it's that simple. There's no magic secret key or magical orb that you gotta ask for wisdom and figure out how to do stuff. You just go and do it. You're awesome, and then you keep doing it. Yeah. VoiceWorks is great. VoiceWorks is a crazy time in the studio. It's super fast, it's super fun, it's awesome. You guys have crazy times to work back up this room and this panel is over. Get that information to let you know. It can happen. Like I look at like a good example in recent history is Katie Holmes. When she does this read, Katie Holmes' mom recorded her in her basement, just on a little handy cam. That's what they sent to the WB, and that's how she got Dawson's Creek, and they went crazy. But that's how it started. It started out with a little Adrian. So a lot of these things don't really mystical, magical beginnings. A lot of it's just sort of just time, and the best way to be the right person at the right time is to sit outside the door to somebody important and wait till they teach it. We got are you guys familiar with, we have a local hero back home, who's like from my hometown. His name's Brian Adams, but he name that you guys would know, like a rock star, Brian Adams. But yeah, Brian Adams is terrible, he's got a horrible voice. But Brian sat outside this big record producer's door, Bruce Allen, for like months months, every day hearing, Brian Adams, you're terrible, go home. This looked bad, really bad. It was like, that's what you hear him tell the story. It's like, yeah, I walked to my door, and Brian Adams would be at my door, and I'm like, Brian, can you move? Seriously, I'm not going to sign you. You're terrible. You're a really bad son. You're horrible at this. Do something else. Do you just like, nah, I'm going to wait till you need me. And they eventually needed him. You know, he's a big rock and roll guy. Really? That's awesome. Yeah, so he's like a local boy who, like, we like Brian Adams because he's just the epitome of a local entertainer who had no talent and just sort of just stayed until he did. That's great. I love that sort of effort. That's really cool. But yeah, so that's a wonderful opportunity, guys. If you guys are interested in doing that sort of stuff, and as you know, you never know where any of this stuff can happen. Or can go. A lot of, I remember when I started animating, 7 years ago or whatever it was now. I had no idea anybody would watch this stuff. Like, I went in there and you gotta be honest, like, a lot of this stuff is kind of weird and creepy. It's like, oh, who would ever watch that? And now I'm looking at all of you, who would watch that? So a lot of this is kind of like, so, a lot of fun. So, is there any other things about anything? Yes. How do I decide what the character's supposed to sound like? Usually through lengthy discussions with the director and or the producer. So at times, when we get a breakdown, we often get voice references. So we'll either have like a sample. If we're redoing a show, we'll get a sample of that voice, or and this is for American stuff. For anime, we'll generally get more of like they'll reference like film and television actors, like think Michael J. Fox, or think Robin Williams in Aladdin, or whatever. Like they'll give you those sorts of notes, so you'll know like a general direction that you want to go. And a lot of it's just sort of, a lot of it's they don't know what they want to hear. A lot of it's, people so all out walking similar idea but all different, and they'll know it when they hear it. That's a very popular phrase in this business. I'll know it when I hear it. And that means I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure I'll get lucky and pick it. A lot of that happens. Any other questions? Oh, yeah.
That reminds me. Have you ever had to redub a show? Not like a movie where the actor already has a voice, but I mean like an anime, for example, that has seen dub and you did a new dub.
With Dragon Ball Z, we did that, and I had to re-record Dragon Drive to show that I had to do twice because the director was terrible. So he put me on the wrong direction. They re-recorded the whole series.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that rarely happens. Yeah, got paid twice in the same show once. And money in this movie stupid. So are there any other questions before? Yes. That's great. You know what? Now I prepare for accents YouTube. So if I need an accent, I YouTube. Like if I need to sound Spanish, I'll just put the word Spanish in YouTube, and I'm like 800 again. And it's like, especially with like German or any of those sorts of things, or South African, like those are some tricky accents. So yeah, YouTube's best friend with accents and those sorts of things. Or something like I have a pretty extensive movie collection, so if I know it's an accent of a movie that I've got, I'll do that. Yeah. Yes. Hardest accent I've ever done. Probably the X-Men one. I still don't think I've done that. I still don't go back and re-record all those episodes. I think it's terrible. But I think it's hopefully get anybody's number, so. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I booked a role on a show called Infinite Revice. And I booked that role when I had a cold. So it was one of the times I got sick, and then when I went back in to actually record the voice, I couldn't do what they asked me. I would do lots of phlegmy voice. I wasn't going to get sick to record an anime. It wasn't going to happen. So, but yeah, that can happen. Any other questions? Last questions for a lot of life? romance, pickup lines? No? And yeah? No. Yeah, I don't know any, but some do. Like some of the crackpots in the label. But we don't. We're pretty laid back and casual back home. Something happens. I'm not sure. Yeah, you can insure this stuff. Yeah? Yep. I know it's a very small community. I know most of the voice actors out of ADV and Fandemonium. I know a bunch out of Los Angeles and New York. No, I don't know. She did? Was she in? Oh, that's the ADV stuff? They got a pretty big roster. So, can I see some hands again? How many people think that they would want to do something like this? Now you want to do it. That's a lot of people, though. That's a lot of people. Find a way to get your name and number and email on a little piece of paper. Get you stuck in that gentleman's hand. Keep your contact. Get information from him. However you want to do it. Don't wait any longer. These opportunities don't happen every day. Unless you're me. No, they don't happen every day. Okay. Any other questions before I take my leave? Okay, I'm around for the rest of the weekend, which I think is just tonight. But I am here. So if you think of anything or you're too embarrassed to ask me, please do. Oh, one last one? That's a long question. Gosh, I gotta think of something to say. Do the Hansel. Okay, hold on. Luke! Who can't even save himself? Harrison Ford is shivering. Holy crap, that dude sounds just like him. That proposed voice to use. That's a great original voice. Oh, yeah, it's kind of like a really crap Han Solo. Thank you very much, you guys. We'll see you around.